evening, traders from across the globe, and welcome to the 1489th edition of Short-Term Trading Live with Oscar Carboni. Good evening, traders. This video, again, the 1489th video, is coming to you on a Thursday night for trading, Friday, July 8th, 2016. Before we get into the topics on the board, you must recognize that futures trading is extremely risky, causes substantial financial loss, is not suitable for all traders, and you can lose your shirt in this game, so you must know what you're doing. What's next? So, look at the board. No Omni on the board. You know why? We're starting off with a neutral Omni. We're going to start neutral, and I will show you why. An Oscarism repetitive pattern has been detected. Traders, I have shown you over the last 10 years, I've probably shown you, 5 or 6 repetitive patterns that I have found I call Oscarism patterns, and those patterns have turned out to be almost 100% accurate. I know you've seen it. What could that be? I know you've seen it. Is that your watch? Cool. Hey. You watch me in the video. I know you've seen my patterns. I know you know when I say I found one of those crazy Oscarism patterns. Well, I did, and you've got to see this. The patterns shows us that we're supposed to come off tomorrow. Let's see what that is. I'm going to show it to you in a moment. Something very exciting. Round of applause, everybody. New features on the site. Text alerts, SMS texting. I will be able to text you signals. I will be able to text you and let you know if we're doing a flash update. I will be able to send you a text with a link. You can watch the video right on your phone. All you've got to do is come to the website and sign up. It's really simple. You're going to just come to the normal website, www.livewithoscar.com. On the left column, you will hit Update Settings. That's your user settings. When you get into there, you will see a tab at the bottom for SMS setup. Click that tab. It's a little yellow button. The rest is easy. It's 4 easy steps. If you have any difficulty, call us at 702-629-4755. We'll be happy to walk you through the new SMS texting. And we've got a new front end. You're going to like this too. We're changing some of the graphics, make it a little more 2.0. You may have to re-log in when you get to the new front end tomorrow. I think we'll probably put it in tomorrow afternoon, late tomorrow afternoon. But at some point, when you come back to my site, you might have to re-log in for the new features. Traders, I'm very excited about these new features. Rock and roll texting, I know. Finally, we get with the mobile industry here, right? I get it. Mobile phones have only been out for a short amount of time. Come on now. All right, so we're ready for that. And what I want you to do is come on down to livewithoscar.com. Come to my free trading room. Better than that, especially if this pattern works out tomorrow, you're really going to want to learn. Well, it might actually take 2 days, but it should start tomorrow. You're really going to want to learn from me. I'm holding a 4-day live training session held here in Las Vegas. It's called Omni Camp. Omni Camp this year will be held September 9th through the 12th. It's 9, 10, 11, and 12. It's a 4-day weekend event. So it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. There are 4 remaining seats. It's coming in September. If you'd like to join me and become an Omniac that's gone through OmniCamp, and what you'll learn at OmniCamp is Oscar's Market Navigational Indicator, the Omni. You will learn how to come up with the Omni trades for yourself. Do you know what they say? Feed a man a fish he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he can feed his family forever. So I want you to learn to fish. Come on down to livewithoscar.com, click the OmniCamp application, fill it out, and I'll get back to you. Traders, with no further ado, let's go look at some charts.
I drove 29 hours from Wisconsin to come down here, drove it straight through. And on the way down, I was expecting to perhaps be tired somewhere along the way because it's a long drive. And I was up essentially for probably a day and a half, but my mind was just racing all the way down. I had so many things that I wanted to learn. I had so many questions that I wanted to ask. I was so excited about being able to come down here and meet him in person because he's just a force of nature when you see him on these videos. He's every bit as fun and informative and genuine as you might suspect, and just the whole way down, I was completely engaged in wanting to be here.
I've been watching him for the last 8 months, and of course I was skeptical when I saw his flashes and all that, and then I started watching and seeing what he was doing and seeing what he was doing, and I was quite impressed by what he was putting out there, so I had to come and see it.
I came here because I saw Oscar on the internet, of course, joined the chat room, was impressed with his apparent track record, and so I bought the course to learn how to do it myself.
I was learning along the way as in the chat room, things would pop up, and I definitely recognized within a month or two that it was very, very powerful what was going on. It was very, very, there was a lot of possibility. I saw the possibility, but yet I understood within a relatively short period of time that it was very, very difficult for me to do without having the extra additional knowledge about what Oscar does. So that's why I made the decision and was very, very fortunate to be able to come out to this first Omni Camp 2.0, and I'm very, very glad that I did.
I had big expectations regarding his system, and this whole experience just blew my mind. I mean, it over-delivered expectations, for sure.
Why create mediocrity when you can imitate genius? And to me, Oscar is a genius in this business because he's studied it more, he's tested it more, he's tested it with his own money and continues to do that. What better validation could you have?
Okay, traders, let's start off with this. Very familiar. You've seen this chart in many videos. The Russell 2000 weekly bars. So each one of these green bars represents a full week's worth of trading. You know that this is a formation I call a head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. That formation generally produces a down move. Then there's a thing, an Oscarism, if you will, I like to call the head test. Generally, a head and shoulders after coming off will rally up for a head test and try to get into this area. If it fails to get into this area, a bigger dump usually ensues. So, as we can see with this chart, we never got to the head test area, and we can't even get above the Omni Trading Academy's proprietary moving average. It's stuck below it. So that, as we know on the weekly, not for short-term trading, but on the weekly, we've been working on this for a while, this is showing us a great deal of resistance and the possibility that this could be a short-term top. Longer-term trading, a weekly chart, right? Now we're going to get to the Oscarism, the repetitive pattern, something that my crazy wired brain spotted. Check this out. Now, some of you are going to write and say, Oscar, this is a little higher than that, and this is a little lower than that. And yes, you would be right, but this is a fine art. It is not a science. It merely has to look like a repetitive pattern to be one. So let me show you what I've got. Here, you reach this point I call point A. It rallies up, it makes point A. Runs down to point B. We've got the same exact pattern here. Point A, it runs down to point B. Then it runs up to point C like we have here. Then it runs back down to D. We run down to D. The difference between what happens next, it runs up to E. This runs up to E, but then we have Brexit. So Brexit sort of made letter F go further than it did over here, but the pattern remains the same. And let me point out some subtleties here. As you can see up here, you put in just a couple of days, like 3, and then dumped. Here you put in the same thing, about 2 days, and then on the third day you dumped. When you came down to B, you only had a couple of days down here, very sharp ones, and rallied out. Same thing here. But then you rallied to point C, and look, you've only got a couple of tops here, just like here. And down you go. We go down to D, where it runs down and puts in the one bar by itself, like here. Then you rally back up to E, and you get the quick dump back down to F. F again went further this time because this was Brexit, so of course that's a massive move, bigger than this one. But the same. Why? You put 2 bars in and turned right back around, just like you did here. And I say you run back up to this spot, and boom! What happened next? Big crack. Once again, you've got that same pattern here. Boom! Is that coming? Here's a question mark. We don't know if it's coming. It did happen here. Let me show you once again. Same chart now. Follow. We go from point A down to B, up to C, D, E, F, to the spot that I call boom, and down it starts to go. And here you've got A, down to B, up to C, D, back up to E, a little bit bigger now for the Brexit, and back to the spot that I say boom. I am telling you that these things are almost identical. You only have a little bit of overshoot during the Brexit area. So what happened next was we dumped. Is that what's coming? Is that why we've got the big head and shoulders? Is that why gold and silver has rallied so much? Nothing states that this has to happen, but you've seen me show you patterns like this before, and if you are a fan of mine, you know I have been right. I've got to say 90% of the time, I have put these big, strange patterns in front of you. So once again, let's look at it without all those lines. This is basically that. And what happened after this was the boom. What happens after this very well could be the boom. Something I wanted to point out to you, my chart masterpiece for the evening. I hope this works out because I would like to see some of you score at the end of the week. Come down to livewithoscar.com, jump into my free trading room, and I will help you understand why I believe this pattern points towards the downside. So traders, you've seen the charts, and now you've got my picture. An Oscarism. The repetitive pattern. I know that many of you don't see the charts the way I do. You've seen me come up with these crazy patterns in the past. I think this one's going to work. By the way, thank you so much, Janice from Tinley Park. Thank you, Janice, because I've now got a green pointer. I can do anything I want with it. I can pick my nose if I want. I can stick it in my ear. I can do anything I want with this. Probably, though, I'll use it to point stuff out and use it on the charts and have a little fun with it. Why not? But anyway, thank you, Janice, very much. Love you, girl. So, traders, that's the pattern. Now, that's a very, very short-term pattern. It should take place right away if it's going to happen. Today, tomorrow, Monday. We'll see what's going to happen. I want you to stay tuned. Remember, we've got no Omni on the board right now. We've got some, we're looking at selling some grains. We're looking at possibly trading into currencies. And a good short should come up in the S&P. We'll see what's going to happen. All right, traders, that's what I wanted to show you. Again, a round of applause for great analysis. I hope that pattern turns out to be fantastic. Wait a minute. We got to get this guy clapping a little bit. There you go. There we go. He's clapping that. All right, traders, so I will see you at the site, livewithoscar.com. Don't forget, keep your emotions out of trading. One of the best things you can do to help keep those emotions at bay is say this to yourselves every morning, every afternoon, every evening, and you know what that is. Stops are in. Emotions are out. Rock and roll, traders. I'll see you all at livewithoscar.com. Futures trading is risky and can cause substantial financial loss. We do not claim or guarantee that you will profit from the information provided.